This video is not for kids. Just telling you. So today we have the Blu-ray sales. There's only one problem with these sales that they come out at bulk releases, and then you have to wait an entire month for the next numbers of sales. So we have number 1 to number 40 to go over. Sadly, About Angels isn't selling it anymore. Dark Phoenix isn't selling, but we don't have to talk about that movie. And Midsummer is completely off the list as well. Midsummer completely off the list already. But The Lion King, unsurprisingly, because is number one, is the number one Blu-ray. So it sold 1.118 million copies, and total units were sold that many units because it's on the first week and made $22 million. So that means it is the 21st movie to pass a million copies this year. Toy Story was the 20th, and Godzilla was the 20th, and Toy Story 4 was the 19th. And then Spider-Man Far From Home was 18th. So, it is, but the only thing here is it's actually behind Toy Story 4. If you go to Toy Story 4 sales, it is actually behind Toy Story 4. So, it's actually pretty similar. In fact, Toy Story 4 is at 1 point. But it's still actually slightly behind Toy Story 4. So it's actually rolling for the Lion King remake, considering the Lion King remake made way more money than Toy Story 4 did. This proves that if you made that's how the Lion King remake is not even a good movie. Which is proof that the burnout for it's gonna be similar to Captain Marvel. The burnout is gonna be real for this movie. The Lion King remake, the burnout is real compared to Toy Story 4. But Toy Story 4 is actually doing pretty well, considering that people don't really buy DVDs and Blu-rays as they used to anymore. So the Lion King remake has sold 1.18 million copies. Hocus Pocus is selling pretty well. You know, as a Halloween movie, obviously it's selling pretty well on DVD. Toy Story 4 is selling pretty well on Blu-ray, but not on DVD. It's not really selling on DVD. It's only sold less than 400,000, which is it is to have Toy Story 3 on Blu-ray, but it's not on DVD. It's way behind Toy Story 3 on DVD. Free from Hell, another movie that is selling pretty well considering it's a direct DVD movie in America. So, Spider-Man Far From Home, another movie that's doing pretty well. It'll probably top 2 million by the end of the year, along with Toy Story 4, and probably the Lion King remake as well, and John Wick and Aladdin. A lot of the bigger movies came out now. Wonder Woman Bloodlines is selling pretty okay. It's none of those DC movies that come out. These movies are kind of for a specific audience. They release like 4 or 5 of these movies a year. And it's kind of for a specific audience. They release like Batman Hush was the best selling I think of them, or or some other Superman movie that came out during April. But Wonder Woman is doing pretty for a DC direct to DVD release. Nightmare Before Christmas is selling pretty well. John Wick Chapter 3 is still selling ahead of Aladdin. It probably will pass Aladdin by the end of probably soon as well, which is pretty surprising considering that Aladdin sold more money than John Wick. The Addams Family is selling pretty well, as well as a Halloween movie. Aladdin selling around 47,000 copies to 1.66 million copies, only 4,000 ahead of John Wick. Not Aladdin. Why would Aladdin be ahead of Aladdin? It makes no sense. But Crawl is doing pretty well because it's a horror movie about crocodiles, gators. It's a pretty small movie. It's a pretty indie movie. It's still doing way better than Midsummer, which this movie did around the same amount of money as Midsummer, which can clearly tell you how few people actually like Midsummer as a movie. But The Goonies will probably sell a million by the end of the year. It still has been selling pretty greatly throughout the year. Dauntless, The Battle of Midway, that must have been a re-release. Selling pretty well. Stuber, not selling well, and Horns buying this movie. Endgame is at 3.7 million copies. It's actually in Zombieland is selling pretty well. The re-release of Zombieland. Um, Annabelle Comes Home is selling pretty okay. Not really a major movie, not really a major mover. Blu-rays, but horror movies don't really sell well. They really sell more on digital or streaming. Dark Phoenix will probably pass a million copies by the end of the year, sadly. But this movie's selling pretty piss poor for an X-Men movie, even then. You know, Godzilla King of the Monsters it's past 1 million last week. It's still selling pretty well, actually. Actually, it's beating, it almost beating Dark Phoenix in spending. The Signing is selling pretty well. Got a 4K release. Same thing as Gremlins, another Halloween classic. Halloween Town, another Halloween movie. Paul, never heard of that movie before. Monster House, another classic Halloween movie. The 007 Daniel Craig collection is selling pretty well. It sold 16,000 copies. The Wizard of Oz, another old classic movie, selling pretty well. Yesterday, it's selling pretty okay. Not many people are buying it, but some people are buying it for the Beatles music. Um, Pets 2 is selling pretty decently. It'll probably reach 1 million by the end of the year because it'll sell pretty decently on Black Friday and the holidays. Pikachu is nearing that it will probably be gone forever until Black Friday. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is the first Christmas movie to arrive on the list, so I'm surprised it isn't like the Grinch, the new Grinch, but Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The rest will go over the DVD so see it's what's and you can see that the Lion King remake isn't really selling well on DVD. Toy Story 4 isn't selling really well. It's actually sold worse than. And you can see here that DVD is really mostly of older movies. Okay, mostly of older movies here. Coco is selling pretty well among certain communities, though, because the Day of the Dead in Mexico and for Hispanics is coming as well. So of course we're gonna watch this movie because it's about Day of the Dead by Disney. Of course, Disney has a monopoly over movies about holidays, but you know next and of course you can see here that Spider-Man Far From Home sold better than Toy Story 4 on DVD. Crawl is selling pretty decently. Stuber, John Wick 3 actually has sold better than Toy Story 4 on DVD. John Wick has destroyed, and if you go back, I think you have to go back a top for Godzilla so because Godzilla sold pretty well on DVD as well. Go back a few shots. Cause see, I think it's before Toy Story 4, because DVD is a very Godzilla King of the Monsters sold just as well as Toy Story on DVD, which shows how poorly these movies are doing on DVD. And really that shows that DVD as a format is kind of basically dying. People who are buying DVDs are buying older movies on DVD, which, that will come with the rigs of DVDs. DVDs have better rigs than Blu-ray, because, they're much more cheaper. The movies get into $5 aisle sections, okay? Best on Blu-rays as well. John Wick has sold 1 million on Blu-ray. I think all these movies by the end of will reach 1 million copies on Blu-ray, while break the internet probably as well, and probably Fast and the Furious as well, and also Alita Battle Angel will cover that movie later as well. But that's the only movie that people seem to care about on Blu-ray. Because I've talked about Godzilla, no one cared. No one cared about Godzilla selling on Blu-ray. Okay, and here is the best-selling movies of the year. I think all of these movies to Dark Phoenix are going to cross 1 million by the end of this year because of Black Friday. Because Black Friday is coming up, and all these movies did sell pretty decently on Black Friday. The Goonies will probably use its rigs on DVD to pass 1 million copies as well. Hocus Pocus will probably sell 150,000 copies before next week, because of course that next week is Halloween week, and of course it'll sell 150,000 copies probably next week, and probably will pass 1 million as well, like last year. It won't sell as well as last year, but it will probably pass 1 million by the end of the year as well. Like last year, which is kind of boring. That's Hocus Pocus selling 1 million again, but John Wick probably may not pass 1 million, but John Wick will probably pass 1 million as well if it continues selling well. If it sells well on Black Friday, John Wick and John Wick 2. They sell massive on Black Friday because this series, John Wick, is becoming more and more popular, as time goes on. And more people are just buying it on Blu-ray. No one's really buying the movie on, DVD. Toy Story is the lowest selling movie on DVD. And Blu-ray Pixels is almost out of the list as well. Was probably by the end of next week. And in a few weeks, Pixels will be out of the list totally as well. So keep an eye on it. And probably by the end of the year, all the movies will be over 400,000 copies sold. There is Black Friday coming up, and all these movies will probably sell 1 million after Black Friday has closed. Even Venom and the Lego Movie 2, which haven't really sold well over the last months. will get boost on Blackfire to push the movies over the edge of 1 million copies sold this year. Blackfire will put, and Venom sold pretty well, and the regular movie 2 sold pretty decently as well. Pets 2 sold pretty decently. So, of course, they'll probably push all 5 of these movies on Blackfire, and that's basically it. Goodbye.